12 things you didn't know about the Kaaba. The Kaaba, often referred to as the House of God, is one of the most sacred sites in Islam, located at the heart of the Grand Mosque in Mecca, Saudi Arabia. This cube-shaped structure is the focal point of the Hajj pilgrimage, a mandatory act of worship for Muslims who are physically and financially able to undertake it. The Kaaba holds a deep spiritual significance for over 1 billion Muslims around the world. While many are familiar with its religious importance, there are numerous fascinating aspects of the Kaaba that remain lesser known. Here we explore 12 intriguing facts about this revered site that you might not know. 1. The ancient origins of the Kaaba. The origins of the Kaaba are deeply rooted in ancient history, intertwined with the narratives of monotheistic faith and divine purpose. According to Islamic tradition, the Kaaba's construction is attributed to the Prophet Abraham, and his son Ishmael, figures revered in Islam, Christianity, and Judaism. The story begins with Ibrahim, who, following God's command, left his wife Hagar and their infant son Ismail in the desolate valley of Mecca. In this remote and barren land, the foundations of what would become the holiest site in Islam were laid. As the narrative goes, Ibrahim returned to Mecca years later, and with Ismail's help, built the Kaaba. The Quran describes this event in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:127, and mention when Ibrahim was raising the foundations of the house, and with him Ismail, saying, "Our Lord, accept this from us. Indeed, you are the hearing, the knowing." This verse encapsulates the act of construction as a deeply spiritual endeavor, underscored by prayers for acceptance and divine approval. The Kaaba, in its original form, was a simple rectangular structure. Over time, the harsh desert environment and historical events necessitated multiple reconstructions and renovations. The earliest modifications to the Kaaba predate Islam, reflecting the structure's long-standing significance. The Quraysh tribe, the custodians of the Kaaba before the advent of Islam, undertook a major reconstruction around 605 CE, just 5 years before the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, received his first revelation. This reconstruction included the addition of a roof and a door, enhancing the Kaaba's architectural integrity. Despite these changes, the Kaaba's role as a central place of worship remained constant. Even during periods of idolatry, the Kaaba retained a sense of sanctity. It housed numerous idols, representing various deities worshipped by the tribes of Arabia. Yet the monotheistic traditions of Ibrahim and Ismail lingered in the collective memory. This dichotomy set the stage for the transformative role that the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, would later play in restoring the Kaaba's original monotheistic purpose. The Prophet Muhammad's involvement with the Kaaba further cemented its historical and spiritual significance. During the early years of his prophethood, the Kaaba continued to be a focal point for worship, albeit within a polytheistic context. The pivotal moment came with the conquest of Mecca in 630 CE, when Muhammad and his followers entered the city without bloodshed. Upon his arrival, the Prophet performed a symbolic cleansing of the Kaaba, removing the idols and rededicating the site to the worship of one God, Allah. This act of purification resonated deeply with the Islamic concept of Tawheed, or the oneness of God. It re-established the Kaaba as the quintessential symbol of monotheism, a status it retains to this day. The historical narrative of the Kaaba, thus, is not merely a tale of a physical structure, but a profound testament to the enduring legacy of monotheistic faith. The Kaaba's ancient origins are further enriched by the various legends and traditions that surround it. One such legend speaks of the Black Stone, believed to be a celestial object given to Ibrahim by the angel Gabriel. This stone, now embedded in the eastern corner of the Kaaba, symbolizes a physical connection to the divine. Another tradition recounts that the original Kaaba was built in heaven and directly aligns with its earthly counterpart, emphasizing its celestial significance. Archaeological and historical evidence also suggests that the site of the Kaaba has been a place of worship since time immemorial. Excavations in the area have revealed artifacts and remnants from pre-Islamic civilizations, indicating continuous habitation and reverence for the location. These findings corroborate the belief that the Kaaba's sacred status predates recorded history, extending back to a primordial era of human spirituality. In essence, the ancient origins of the Kaaba encompass a tapestry of divine command, prophetic dedication, and historical continuity. From its inception by Ibrahim and Ismail to its sanctification by the Prophet Muhammad, the Kaaba stands as a monument to the enduring power of faith. It symbolizes a spiritual lineage that transcends time, connecting generations of believers in a shared legacy of monotheistic worship. 2. The Black Stone. The Black Stone, or Al-Hajar al-Aswad, is one of the most enigmatic and revered objects in Islamic tradition, occupying a central place in the rituals and symbolism of the Kaaba. Embedded in the eastern corner of the Kaaba, approximately 1.5 meters above the ground, this dark, irregularly shaped stone is surrounded by a silver frame. Its significance is not merely historical or physical. It embodies profound spiritual meanings and traditions that span centuries. According to Islamic tradition, the Black Stone was given to the Prophet Ibrahim by the angel Jibril. It is said to have descended from heaven as a white stone, but turned black due to the sins of humanity. This transformation from white to black is often interpreted as a metaphor for the human condition, emphasizing themes of purity, sin, and redemption. The stone's current black appearance is thus a poignant reminder of the need for repentance and spiritual renewal. Pilgrims performing the Hajj or Umrah strive to touch or kiss the black stone during the tawaf, the ritual circumambulation of the Kaaba. This act is not considered a form of idol worship, but rather an emulation of the Prophet Muhammad, who is reported to have kissed the stone during his farewell pilgrimage. For many Muslims, touching or kissing the black stone is a moment of profound spiritual significance, symbolizing a direct connection with the divine and a reaffirmation of their faith. The Black Stone's physical composition has been the subject of much speculation and scientific inquiry. Some theories suggest it is a meteorite, while others propose it is an agate or basalt. Regardless of its material origins, the Black Stone's true significance lies in its spiritual and symbolic value rather than its physical properties. Its presence at the Kaaba serves as a focal point for devotion and reverence, transcending any scientific explanation. Throughout history, the Black Stone has witnessed numerous events and endured various trials. It has been broken and fragmented on several occasions, most notably in 930 CE when it was removed and held for ransom by the Karmatians, a radical Ismaili sect. The stone was eventually returned to the Kaaba after 22 years, although it had been broken into several pieces during its absence. These fragments were later reassembled and cemented within the silver frame, a testament to the enduring reverence and resilience associated with the stone. The Black Stone's role in Islamic eschatology also underscores its spiritual significance. According to some Islamic traditions, the stone will be granted speech on the Day of Judgment and will bear witness to the deeds of those who touched it in reverence. This belief further elevates the stone's status from a mere relic to an active participant in the spiritual lives of believers, capable of interceding on their behalf in the hereafter. The symbolic meanings attached to the black stone are manifold. It represents a covenant between God and humanity, a tangible link to the prophetic tradition, and a marker of divine presence. For pilgrims, the moment of encountering the black stone is often described as a deeply emotional and transformative experience, encapsulating the essence of their spiritual journey. The act of touching or kissing the stone is imbued with a sense of closeness to God, an affirmation of faith, and a moment of introspection and repentance. The black stone's integration into the rituals of Hajj and Umrah highlights its centrality in Islamic worship. During the tawaf, pilgrims circulate the Kaaba 7 times, each circuit beginning and ending at the black stone. This ritual action signifies the believer's continuous journey towards and around the divine presence, with the black stone serving as a constant point of orientation and spiritual focus. Despite the profound reverence for the black stone, Islamic teachings emphasize that it is not the object itself, but the act of devotion it inspires that holds true significance. The Prophet Muhammad is reported to have said, "By Allah, I know that you are a stone and can neither harm nor benefit. Had I not seen the Prophet kiss you, I would not have kissed you." This statement underscores the importance of intention and the emulation of prophetic practices in Islamic worship. In contemporary times, the black stone continues to be a symbol of unity and faith for Muslims around the world. Its presence at the Kaaba, coupled with the rituals and traditions associated with it, reinforces the central themes of Islamic spirituality: submission to God, the pursuit of righteousness, and the collective identity of the Muslim Ummah. The black stone stands as a timeless witness to the enduring legacy of faith, embodying the profound connection between the divine and humanity. 3. The kiswa, the Kaaba's covering. The kiswa, the exquisite black silk and gold-embroidered cloth that adorns the Kaaba, is a symbol of reverence, devotion, and artistic mastery. This elaborate covering is not only a protective garment for the sacred structure, but also a manifestation of the deep respect and honor bestowed upon the Kaaba by Muslims worldwide. The process of creating, maintaining, and replacing the kiswa is a significant aspect of the Islamic tradition, reflecting a blend of spiritual significance and cultural heritage. Each year on the 9th day of the Islamic month of Dhu al-Hijjah, coinciding with the day of Arafat during the Hajj pilgrimage, the old kiswa is replaced with a new one. This annual ritual signifies renewal and continuity, underscoring the perpetual veneration of the Kaaba. The old kiswa is carefully removed, cut into pieces, and distributed as gifts to dignitaries and religious institutions, symbolizing the spread of blessings and goodwill. The production of the kiswa is a meticulous and intricate process that involves numerous skilled artisans and considerable resources. The cloth is woven from the finest silk and dyed black, a color that symbolizes the simplicity and sanctity of the Kaaba. The embroidery, done with pure gold and silver threads, features Quranic verses, intricate patterns, and calligraphic designs. The most prominent inscription on the kiswa is the Shahada, the Islamic declaration of faith, affirming the oneness of God and the prophethood of Muhammad. Historically, the responsibility for creating the kiswa has shifted among various Islamic empires and regions. In the early Islamic period, it was made in Egypt, a tradition that continued for several centuries. The Fatimid, Mamluk, and Ottoman empires all contributed to the crafting of the kiswa, each adding their unique artistic and cultural influences. Today, the The kiswa is produced in a dedicated factory in Mecca, established by the Saudi government, ensuring that the tradition continues with the highest standards of craftsmanship and devotion. The design and production of the kiswa involve several stages, beginning with the weaving of the silk fabric. The silk is meticulously woven on large looms, creating a smooth and durable cloth. Once the fabric is ready, it is dyed black and stretched out for the intricate process of embroidery. Artisans skilled in Islamic calligraphy and design work tirelessly to create the elaborate patterns and inscriptions that adorn the kiswa. This process can take several months, highlighting the dedication and effort invested in this sacred task. The gold and silver threads used in the embroidery are another remarkable aspect of the kiswa. These threads are crafted from real gold and silver, making the kiswa not only a spiritual symbol, but also a work of immense material value. The intricate embroidery includes verses from the Quran, particularly from Surah Al-Ikhlas, which emphasizes the oneness of God. The precision and artistry involved in this embroidery reflect the high regard in which the Kaaba is held and the desire to honor it with the best possible craftsmanship. Once the kiswa is completed, it is carefully transported to the Grand Mosque in Mecca, where it is ceremoniously installed on the Kaaba. The installation process is a highly coordinated effort, involving the careful removal of the old kiswa and the precise placement of the new one. The new kiswa is draped over the Kaaba and secured in place, transforming the appearance of the sacred structure and renewing its majestic presence. The kiswa also includes a specific section known as the belt, Hizam, which encircles the upper part of the Kaaba. This belt is embroidered with Quranic verses in gold, adding a distinctive and ornate feature to the overall design. The belt's verses are carefully chosen to reflect themes of divine protection, guidance, and mercy, further enhancing the spiritual significance of the kiswa. In addition to the annual replacement of the kiswa, there are also smaller pieces of embroidered cloth that cover other parts of the Kaaba, such as the door and the corners. These pieces, known as sitara or burq, are similarly adorned with gold and silver embroidery, maintaining the cohesive and harmonious appearance of the Kaaba's covering. The kiswa is more than just a physical covering for the Kaaba. It represents a profound expression of love, devotion, and artistic excellence. It is a testament to the enduring reverence that Muslims hold for the Kaaba and the lengths to which they go to honor and protect this sacred site. The kiswa stands as a symbol of unity, faith, and the continuous connection between the divine and the faithful, embodying the timeless beauty and sanctity of the house of God. 4. The interior of the Kaaba. The interior of the Kaaba is shrouded in mystery and awe, largely inaccessible to the millions of Muslims who revere it from the outside. Unlike the grand and elaborate exterior, the inside of the Kaaba is remarkably simple, embodying the principles of humility and devotion that are central to Islamic faith. The few who have had the privilege of entering this sacred space describe it as a profound and transformative experience, one that connects them directly with the divine. The Kaaba's interior is relatively small, with dimensions approximately 12 by 10 meters, and it can only accommodate a limited number of people at a time. Upon entering, visitors are struck by the simplicity and serenity of the space. The floor is made of marble, and the walls are adorned with marble panels up to about halfway, above which is a simple, unadorned white wall. The ceiling is supported by 3 wooden pillars, which are considered to be original components from an early reconstruction. There are no elaborate decorations or furnishings inside the Kaaba. Instead, the space is marked by its stark simplicity. This lack of adornment is intentional, directing focus away from material embellishments and towards spiritual reflection and prayer. The absence of distractions allows worshippers to concentrate fully on their connection with Allah. The interior of the Kaaba also contains a small altar or table, which is used during special religious ceremonies. This table is believed to have been used by the Prophet Muhammad himself during his time. In addition, there is a lamp that hangs from the ceiling, which is lit on special occasions, adding to the serene and contemplative atmosphere of the interior. One of the most significant features inside the Kaaba is the area known as the Hatim. This semicircular space, demarcated by a low wall outside the Kaaba, is actually considered part of the original structure built by Ibrahim and Ismail. When performing tawaf, pilgrims make sure to circumambulate around this area, acknowledging its sanctity. The Hatim is believed to be a particularly blessed space, and prayers offered here are considered highly meritorious. Access to the interior of the Kaaba is highly restricted and typically reserved for select dignitaries, religious leaders, and occasionally high-ranking officials from Muslim-majority countries. On rare occasions, special guests or representatives from various nations may be granted entry as a sign of diplomatic goodwill and religious respect. These visits are often covered by the media, providing a glimpse into the interior for the wider Muslim community. The process of entering the Kaaba is steeped in ritual and reverence. Visitors are required to perform ablutions and don clean, simple clothing as a sign of purity and humility. Upon entering, they are expected to offer prayers and supplications, seeking blessings and expressing gratitude for the rare opportunity to be in such a sacred space. The experience is often described as deeply moving and spiritually uplifting, leaving a lasting impression on those fortunate enough to have entered. The interior of the Kaaba, though modest in its physical appearance, holds immense spiritual significance. It represents the innermost sanctum of the Islamic faith, a place where the divine presence is palpably felt. For Muslims, the interior of the Kaaba is not just a physical space, but a symbol of their innermost devotion and the purity of their faith. It serves as a powerful reminder of the simplicity and humility that are central to the worship of Allah. 5. The role of the Kaaba in daily prayers. The Kaaba plays a pivotal role in the daily lives of Muslims around the world, serving as the Qibla, the direction that all Muslims face during their prayers. This practice, known as Salah, is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and is performed 5 times a day. The act of facing the Kaaba during prayer is not merely a ritualistic practice, but a profound expression of unity, faith, and submission to Allah. Facing the Kaaba during prayer is a practice that was established during the time of the Prophet Muhammad. Initially, Muslims faced Jerusalem during their prayers, but this changed after the revelation of a specific verse in the Quran. In Surah Al-Baqarah 2144, Allah commands, "So turn your face toward the sacred mosque, and wherever you are, turn your faces toward it." This directive established the Kaaba as the Qibla for all Muslims, a practice that has continued unbroken to this day. The significance of the Kaaba as the Qibla lies in its role as a unifying focal point for the global Muslim community. Regardless of geographical location, language, or culture, all Muslims turn towards the Kaaba during their prayers, symbolizing the unity and cohesion of the Ummah, the global Muslim community. This act of facing a single direction underscores the concept of Tawheed, the oneness of God, and the collective submission of believers to His will. The physical act of facing the Kaaba is facilitated by modern technology, which allows Muslims to determine the Qibla from any location on Earth. Smartphone apps, compasses, and various online tools have made it easier for Muslims to find the direction of the Kaaba, ensuring that they can perform their prayers correctly regardless of where they are. This technological assistance has further strengthened the sense of unity and connectedness among Muslims. The spiritual significance of facing the Kaaba during prayer extends beyond mere orientation. It represents a direct connection with the divine and serves as a reminder of the believer's purpose and devotion. The act of turning towards the Kaaba is a physical manifestation of turning one's heart and mind towards Allah, reinforcing the centrality of faith in the daily life of a Muslim. The Kaaba's role as the Qibla is also deeply embedded in the architecture of mosques around the world. The prayer halls of mosques are designed to face the Kaaba, and the mihrab, a niche in the wall of a mosque, indicates the direction of the Qibla. This architectural feature ensures that the congregation is oriented correctly during communal prayers, fostering a sense of collective worship and unity. In addition to its role in daily prayers, the Kaaba's significance as the Qibla is highlighted during special occasions and religious events. During the Hajj pilgrimage, millions of Muslims gather in Mecca and perform prayers facing the Kaaba, creating a powerful visual representation of the unity and diversity of the Muslim Ummah. The collective act of prayer during Hajj serves as a profound reminder of the shared faith and purpose that bind Muslims together. Furthermore, the Kaaba's role in daily prayers extends to the spiritual and ethical dimensions of Islamic practice. Facing the Kaaba during prayer is a constant reminder of the principles of humility, discipline, and devotion that are central to the Islamic faith. It encourages Muslims to maintain a sense of direction and purpose in their lives, aligning their actions and intentions with the teachings of Islam. 6. The Zamzam Well. The Zamzam well, located within the precincts of the Grand Mosque in Mecca, is a source of miraculous water and holds a special place in the hearts of Muslims around the world. The well is intimately linked with the story of Hagar and her son Ismail, reflecting themes of faith, divine providence, and the enduring mercy of Allah. The water from Zamzam is considered sacred, and millions of pilgrims partake in its blessings each year during the Hajj and Umrah pilgrimages. The story of the Zamzam well dates back to the time of the Prophet Ibrahim. According to Islamic tradition, Ibrahim was commanded by Allah to leave his wife Hagar and their infant son Ismail in the barren valley of Mecca. Obedient to God's will, Ibrahim left them with a small amount of food and water, which soon ran out. Desperate for sustenance, Hagar ran between the hills of Safa and Marwa 7 times in search of water. Her unwavering faith and perseverance were rewarded when Allah caused a spring to gush forth from the ground at the feet of Ismail, providing them with life-sustaining water. This spring became known as the Zamzam well. The miraculous nature of the Zamzam well is highlighted by its ability to continuously provide water for over 4,000 years. Despite the millions of pilgrims who drink from it and take its water home, the well has never run dry. This phenomenon is considered a divine sign of Allah's mercy and a testament to the miraculous origins of Zamzam. The well's water is renowned for its purity and is believed to possess healing properties, making it a cherished gift among Muslims. The significance of Zamzam water extends beyond its physical properties. It is imbued with deep spiritual meaning and is often associated with answered prayers and blessings. Pilgrims drink Zamzam water with the intention of seeking spiritual purification, healing, and the fulfillment of their supplications. The Prophet Muhammad is reported to have said, "The water of Zamzam is for whatever it is drunk for," highlighting the importance of intention and faith in deriving its benefits. The well itself is situated approximately 20 meters east of the Kaaba and is accessible to pilgrims through a modern pumping and distribution system. This system ensures that Zamzam water is readily available to the millions of visitors who come to Mecca each year. The water is dispensed through drinking fountains and is also bottled for pilgrims to take home as a precious memento of their pilgrimage. The history of the Zamzam well is marked by periods of neglect and restoration. At times, the well was buried and forgotten, only to be rediscovered and restored by devout Muslims. Notably, the well was rediscovered during the time of Abdul Muttalib, the grandfather of the Prophet Muhammad, who had a vision revealing its location. Since then, the well has been meticulously maintained and protected, ensuring its continued accessibility to pilgrims. The ritual of drinking Zamzam water is an integral part of the Hajj and Umrah pilgrimages. Pilgrims often begin and end their tawaf, circumambulation of the Kaaba, by drinking from the well, symbolizing the sustenance and blessings provided by Allah. Additionally, pilgrims may collect Zamzam water to take back to their families and communities, sharing the spiritual benefits and blessings of their pilgrimage. In contemporary times, the Saudi government has invested significantly in the infrastructure surrounding the Zamzam well, ensuring that the water is hygienically collected and distributed. Advanced filtration and sterilization processes are employed to maintain the purity and quality of the water, reflecting the ongoing reverence and importance of this sacred source. The Zamzam well is also a focal point for various religious and cultural practices. During special occasions and religious festivals, Muslims around the world seek to incorporate Zamzam water into their rituals, using it for ablutions, drinking, and even cooking. Its presence in these practices underscores the well's enduring significance and the deep spiritual connection that Muslims feel towards it. 7. The Kaaba's multiple renovations. The Kaaba, a structure of immense spiritual and historical significance, has undergone numerous renovations and reconstructions throughout its long history. These renovations were necessitated by various factors, including natural disasters, wear and tear, and the evolving needs of the growing Muslim Ummah. Each renovation reflects the ongoing care and reverence for the Kaaba, ensuring that it remains a symbol of faith and unity for Muslims worldwide. One of the earliest and most significant renovations occurred during the pre-Islamic era, undertaken by the Quraysh tribe around 605 CE. This renovation included the addition of a roof and a door to the Kaaba, which previously had been an open structure. The Quraysh also raised the height of the walls and reinforced the foundations, using a combination of stone and wood. This renovation was overseen by various clan leaders, including the Prophet Muhammad, who was entrusted with placing the black stone in its current position, an act that demonstrated his wisdom and leadership. The most significant reconstruction in the early Islamic period was carried out during the reign of the second caliph, Umar ibn al-Khattab. Under his leadership, the Kaaba was reinforced and expanded to accommodate the increasing number of pilgrims. Umar's renovation focused on strengthening the structure and improving the surrounding area to facilitate the performance of Hajj rituals. This renovation set a precedent for future caliphs and rulers who continued to invest in the maintenance and expansion of the Kaaba. In 683 CE, during the reign of Abdullah ibn al-Zubayr, the Kaaba was severely damaged by fire during a siege. Ibn al-Zubayr took the opportunity to rebuild the Kaaba according to the original dimensions described by the Prophet Muhammad. This reconstruction included the addition of the Hatim, a semicircular area adjacent to the Kaaba, which was part of the original structure built by Ibrahim and Ismail. Ibn al-Zubayr's reconstruction aimed to restore the Kaaba to its primordial state, honoring its sacred heritage. The Umayyad Caliph, Abdul Malik ibn Marwan, later made modifications to the Kaaba, returning it to the dimensions established by the Quraysh. This decision was influenced by political considerations and the desire to assert Umayyad authority over the sacred site. Despite these changes, the fundamental sanctity and significance of the Kaaba remained intact, continuing to inspire devotion and reverence among Muslims. The Abbasid caliphs also played a crucial role in the maintenance and renovation of the Kaaba. During their rule, the Kaaba was frequently repaired and refurbished, reflecting the Abbasid commitment to preserving the Islamic heritage. Notable among these efforts was the construction of a protective structure around the Black Stone, ensuring its preservation and preventing further damage. The Ottoman period marked a significant era of renovation and expansion for the Kaaba and the surrounding Grand Mosque. The Ottoman sultans invested heavily in the maintenance of the holy site, employing skilled architects and craftsmen to enhance its structure and aesthetics. Sultan Murad IV, in particular, undertook a major renovation in the 17th century, reinforcing the foundations, repairing the walls, and installing a new door made of solid gold. The Ottomans also expanded the mosque complex, adding new minarets and courtyards to accommodate the growing number of pilgrims. In the modern era, the Saudi government has continued the tradition of maintaining and enhancing the Kaaba. Since the establishment of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, significant resources have been allocated to the preservation and expansion of the Grand Mosque. One of the most notable projects was the expansion initiated by King Abdulaziz Al Saud in the 20th century, which included the construction of new prayer halls, additional minarets, and the expansion of the mosque's courtyards. These efforts have transformed the Grand Mosque into one of the largest and most advanced religious complexes in the world. The most recent renovations have focused on incorporating modern technology and infrastructure to enhance the safety and comfort of pilgrims. Advanced cooling systems, crowd management technologies, and comprehensive security measures have been implemented to ensure that the millions of pilgrims who visit the Kaaba each year can perform their rituals in a safe and conducive environment. These modern enhancements reflect the ongoing commitment to preserving the sanctity and accessibility of the Kaaba while accommodating the needs of contemporary pilgrims. Throughout its history, the Kaaba's renovations have been driven by a deep sense of reverence and responsibility towards this sacred structure. Each era's contributions have ensured that the Kaaba remains a symbol of Islamic faith and unity, capable of inspiring generations of Muslims. The continuous care and investment in the Kaaba highlight the enduring significance of this holy site and the collective commitment of the Muslim Ummah to preserve its sanctity for future generations. In conclusion, the multiple renovations of the Kaaba reflect a rich history of devotion, care, and reverence. From the early efforts of the Quraysh to the modern expansions by the Saudi government, each renovation has contributed to the preservation and enhancement of this sacred structure. The Kaaba's enduring significance as a symbol of faith and unity is maintained through these continuous efforts, ensuring that it remains a focal point of Islamic worship and devotion for generations to come. 8. The Hajj Pilgrimage. The Hajj pilgrimage is one of the 5 pillars of Islam and represents a profound expression of faith and devotion for Muslims worldwide. Every year, millions of Muslims undertake this sacred journey to Mecca, fulfilling a religious obligation that traces its origins back to the Prophet Ibrahim. The Hajj is not merely a physical journey, but a deeply spiritual experience that embodies themes of unity, equality, and submission to Allah. The rituals of Hajj are meticulously prescribed, following the practices established by the Prophet Muhammad during his farewell pilgrimage in 632 CE. The pilgrimage begins on the 8th day of Dhu al-Hijjah, the 12th month of the Islamic lunar calendar, and lasts for 5 days. The central focus of Hajj is the Kaaba, around which many of the rituals are centered. One of the first rituals of Hajj is entering a state of Ihram, a sacred state of purity and devotion. Pilgrims don simple white garments that symbolize purity, equality, and the shedding of worldly distinctions. For men, this consists of 2 seamless white cloths, while women wear modest, plain clothing. The simplicity of Ihram attire underscores the themes of humility and equality, emphasizing that all pilgrims stand equal before Allah. Upon entering Mecca, pilgrims perform tawaf, the circumambulation of the Kaaba, which involves walking around the sacred structure 7 times in a counterclockwise direction. This ritual symbolizes the unity of the believers in the worship of the one God, with the Kaaba serving as the central point of their devotion. The tawaf is a deeply moving experience, as pilgrims join in a continuous flow around the Kaaba, chanting prayers and supplications. Following tawaf, pilgrims perform sa'i, which involves walking 7 times between the hills of Safa and Marwa. This ritual commemorates Hagar's desperate search for water for her son Ismail, highlighting themes of faith, perseverance, and divine providence. The completion of sa'i often elicits a profound sense of connection to the historical and spiritual legacy of Islam. The Hajj pilgrimage also includes the standing at Arafat, Wukuf, which takes place on the 9th day of Dhu al-Hijjah. Pilgrims gather on the plain of Arafat, where the Prophet Muhammad delivered his farewell sermon. This day is considered the pinnacle of Hajj, as pilgrims spend the day in prayer, reflection, and supplication, seeking forgiveness and spiritual renewal. The standing at Arafat is a powerful reminder of the Day of Judgment and the believer's ultimate accountability to Allah. Following the day at Arafat, pilgrims proceed to Muzdalifah, where they spend the night under the open sky, collecting pebbles for the ritual of Rami al-Jamarat. This ritual, which takes place over the next 3 days, involves throwing pebbles at 3 pillars in Mina, symbolizing the rejection of evil and the reenactment of Ibrahim's defiance of Satan's temptations. The act of Rami al-Jamarat is a demonstration of the pilgrim's commitment to resisting sin and following the path of righteousness. Another significant ritual of Hajj is the sacrifice of an animal known as Qurbani, which commemorates Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son Ismail in obedience to Allah's command. Pilgrims perform this act of sacrifice, and the meat is distributed to the needy, emphasizing the principles of charity, compassion, and community support. The act of Qurbani serves as a reminder of the importance of obedience, sacrifice, and generosity in the life of a Muslim. The Hajj pilgrimage concludes with the final tawaf, known as Tawaf al-Ifada, and the shaving or cutting of the hair, halq or taksir. This final circumambulation of the Kaaba symbolizes the completion of the pilgrimage and the renewal of the pilgrim's commitment to faith and devotion. The shaving or cutting of the hair represents a physical and spiritual cleansing, marking the end of the state of Ihram and the beginning of a new chapter in the pilgrim's life. Throughout the Hajj pilgrimage, the sense of unity and equality among the pilgrims is palpable. Regardless of their nationality, ethnicity, or social status, all pilgrims perform the same rituals, wear the same simple garments, and share in the same spiritual experiences. This collective act of worship reinforces the universal brotherhood of Islam and the shared commitment to the worship of Allah. In contemporary times, the Saudi government has implemented extensive measures to ensure the safety and comfort of the millions of pilgrims who undertake Hajj each year. Infrastructure improvements, crowd management strategies, and comprehensive healthcare services have been put in place to facilitate the smooth and secure performance of the pilgrimage. These efforts reflect the ongoing commitment to preserving the sanctity and accessibility of Hajj for Muslims worldwide. In conclusion, the Hajj pilgrimage is a profound expression of faith, devotion, and unity for Muslims. The rituals of Hajj, centered around the Kaaba, embody themes of humility, equality, and submission to Allah. The pilgrimage serves as a powerful reminder of the historical and spiritual legacy of Islam, reinforcing the principles of faith, obedience, and community. Through the Hajj, Muslims renew their commitment to their faith and strengthen their connection to the global Ummah, experiencing a transformative journey that resonates deeply in their spiritual lives. 9. The Makam Ibrahim. The Makam Ibrahim, or the Station of Abraham, is a revered site located near the Kaaba within the Grand Mosque in Mecca. It holds significant religious and historical importance in Islam, associated with the Prophet Ibrahim and his construction of the Kaaba. The Makam Ibrahim is believed to bear the footprints of Ibrahim, serving as a tangible link to his legacy and the profound acts of devotion he performed in obedience to Allah's commands. According to Islamic tradition, the Makam Ibrahim marks the spot where Ibrahim stood while building the Kaaba with his son Ismail. As they raised the walls of the Kaaba, Ibrahim stood on a stone that miraculously softened under his feet, leaving his footprints embedded in it. This stone, now encased in a glass and metal structure, is venerated by Muslims as a symbol of Ibrahim's unwavering faith and dedication to Allah. The Quran references the Makam Ibrahim in Surah Al-Baqarah 2:125, where Allah commands, "And take, O believers, from the standing place of Abraham a place of prayer." This verse underscores the significance of the Makam Ibrahim as a site for worship and reflection. Pilgrims are encouraged to offer 2 units of prayer, rak'ahs, at this spot after completing the tawaf around the Kaaba, seeking blessings and invoking the legacy of Ibrahim's piety and devotion. The Makam Ibrahim is situated a few meters from the Kaaba, positioned in such a way that it does not obstruct the flow of pilgrims performing tawaf. Despite its proximity to the bustling activity of the Grand Mosque, the site exudes a sense of tranquility and reverence. The encased footprints serve as a powerful reminder of the historical and spiritual journey of Ibrahim, inspiring pilgrims to emulate his virtues of faith, obedience, and perseverance. The historical narrative of the Makam Ibrahim extends beyond its physical presence. It symbolizes the broader themes of sacrifice, dedication, and divine guidance that are central to the story of Ibrahim. The Prophet Ibrahim's willingness to follow Allah's commands, even in the face of immense challenges, exemplifies the ideal of unwavering faith. The Makam Ibrahim stands as a testament to this legacy, encouraging Muslims to reflect on their own spiritual journeys and their relationship with Allah. In addition to its spiritual significance, the Makam Ibrahim also holds architectural and cultural value. The stone's preservation and the structure that encases it reflect the meticulous care and reverence afforded to sacred relics in Islamic tradition. The intricate design of the enclosure, combining glass and metal elements, ensures that the footprints are visible to pilgrims while protecting them from damage. This careful preservation highlights the importance of maintaining the integrity of sacred sites for future generations. The Makam Ibrahim also plays a role in the larger context of the Hajj pilgrimage. Pilgrims visiting the Grand Mosque often make it a point to pray at this site, seeking to connect with the legacy of Ibrahim and enhance their spiritual experience. The act of praying at the Makam Ibrahim serves as a reminder of the deep historical roots of Islamic practices and the enduring significance of the Prophet Ibrahim's contributions to the faith. The presence of the Makam Ibrahim within the Grand Mosque also underscores the interconnectedness of various elements of Islamic worship. The proximity of the Makam Ibrahim to the Kaaba, the Zamzam well, and other sacred sites within the mosque complex creates a cohesive spiritual environment. Pilgrims moving between these sites experience a holistic journey of faith, immersed in the rich tapestry of Islamic history and tradition. In contemporary times, the Saudi authorities have taken measures to ensure the accessibility and preservation of the Makam Ibrahim. The structure enclosing the footprints is regularly maintained, and efforts are made to manage the flow of pilgrims around the site to prevent overcrowding. These measures reflect a commitment to safeguarding the sanctity and accessibility of the Makam Ibrahim, allowing pilgrims to continue drawing inspiration and blessings from this revered site. 10. The Station of the Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet Muhammad holds a central place in Islam, not only as the final messenger of Allah, but also as the restorer of the Kaaba's original purpose as a monotheistic house of worship. His life and actions have profoundly shaped the religious and spiritual landscape of Islam, with the Kaaba serving as a focal point of his prophetic mission. The Prophet's association with the Kaaba is a testament to his role in re-establishing the worship of one God and purifying the sacred site from idolatry. One of the most significant events in the Prophet Muhammad's life was the conquest of Mecca in 630 CE. This event marked a pivotal moment in Islamic history, as it led to the rededication of the Kaaba to the worship of Allah. Upon entering Mecca, the Prophet Muhammad proceeded to the Kaaba, which at the time was surrounded by numerous idols and pagan symbols. In a powerful act of purification, he ordered the removal and destruction of these idols, cleansing the Kaaba of all remnants of polytheistic worship. This act fulfilled the divine command to restore the Kaaba to its original purpose, as established by the Prophet Ibrahim. The Prophet Muhammad's actions during the conquest of Mecca underscored his commitment to monotheism and the centrality of the Kaaba in Islamic worship. His purification of the Kaaba symbolized a return to the pure and unadulterated worship of Allah, free from the distortions of idolatry. This restoration was not only a physical cleansing, but also a profound spiritual renewal, reaffirming the Kaaba's status as the most sacred site in Islam. The Prophet Muhammad's association with the Kaaba is also evident in his practices during the Hajj pilgrimage. During his farewell pilgrimage in 632 CE, the Prophet Muhammad demonstrated the proper way to perform the Hajj rituals, providing a model for all future generations of Muslims. His actions and teachings during this pilgrimage established the framework for the Hajj, ensuring that the rituals would be performed in accordance with divine guidance and prophetic tradition. One of the key rituals demonstrated by the Prophet Muhammad was the tawaf, the circumambulation of the Kaaba. By performing tawaf, the Prophet highlighted the importance of the Kaaba as the focal point of Islamic worship and reinforced the unity of the Muslim Ummah. His actions during the tawaf, including touching and kissing the black stone, have become sunnah, or prophetic traditions, that Muslims strive to emulate during their own pilgrimages. The Prophet Muhammad's farewell sermon, delivered on the plain of Arafat during his final Hajj, is another significant moment that underscores his connection to the Kaaba and the Hajj pilgrimage. In this sermon, the Prophet emphasized the principles of equality, justice, and the oneness of the Muslim Ummah. He reminded the believers of their duties towards one another and reiterated the importance of adhering to the teachings of Islam. The farewell sermon, delivered in the vicinity of the Kaaba, serves as a timeless reminder of the Prophet's guidance and the core values of the Islamic faith. The Prophet Muhammad's connection to the Kaaba is further highlighted by his lifelong dedication to the worship of Allah and his efforts to spread the message of Islam. From his early revelations in Mecca to his migration to Medina and eventual return to Mecca, the Kaaba remained a central symbol of his prophetic mission. The Kaaba's significance in his life is reflected in the Quranic revelations that emphasize the importance of the sacred site and the establishment of the Qibla, the direction of prayer. In addition to his role in purifying and restoring the Kaaba, the Prophet Muhammad's legacy includes the establishment of the 5 pillars of Islam, which form the foundation of Muslim worship and practice. Among these pillars, the Hajj pilgrimage is directly connected to the Kaaba, highlighting its central place in Islamic faith. The Prophet's teachings and actions continue to guide Muslims in their observance of these pillars, ensuring that the Kaaba remains a focal point of devotion and worship. The enduring impact of the Prophet Muhammad's association with the Kaaba is evident in the continued reverence and devotion of Muslims towards the sacred site. His actions and teachings have shaped the rituals and practices of Hajj, ensuring that the Kaaba remains a symbol of monotheism, unity, and faith. The Prophet's legacy is deeply intertwined with the Kaaba, reflecting his pivotal role in restoring its sanctity and significance. 11. The Sacred Mosque Expansion Projects. The Grand Mosque, or Masjid al-Haram, which houses the Kaaba, has undergone numerous expansion projects throughout history to accommodate the growing number of pilgrims and worshippers. These expansions reflect the ongoing commitment to ensuring that the holy site remains accessible, safe, and conducive to worship for millions of Muslims from around the world. The expansion projects have transformed the Grand Mosque into one of the largest and most advanced religious complexes in the world, blending historical reverence with modern infrastructure. The earliest expansions of the Grand Mosque can be traced back to the caliphates of Umar ibn al-Khattab and Uthman ibn Affan. These early Islamic leaders recognized the need to accommodate the increasing number of pilgrims performing Hajj and Umrah. Umar ibn al-Khattab initiated the first significant expansion by purchasing adjacent land and increasing the mosque's capacity. Uthman ibn Affan continued these efforts, further enlarging the mosque and enhancing its facilities. The Abbasid caliphs also contributed to the expansion and beautification of the Grand Mosque. Under their rule, the mosque's area was further enlarged, and architectural elements such as minarets and decorative features were added. The Abbasid caliphs sought to enhance the spiritual and aesthetic experience of pilgrims, ensuring that the mosque reflected the grandeur and sanctity of the Kaaba. The most significant expansions, however, occurred during the Ottoman period. The Ottoman sultans, particularly Sultan Selim II and Sultan Murad IV, undertook extensive renovation and expansion projects. These efforts included the construction of new minarets, domes, and prayer halls, as well as the reinforcement of the mosque's foundations. The Ottomans also introduced advanced architectural and engineering techniques, ensuring the structural integrity and durability of the mosque. In the modern era, the Saudi government has overseen the most extensive and ambitious expansion projects in the history of the Grand Mosque. Recognizing the ever-increasing number of pilgrims and the need for modern infrastructure, the Saudi authorities have invested significant resources in expanding and modernizing the mosque complex. These projects have been carried out in multiple phases, each aimed at enhancing the capacity, safety, and comfort of the mosque. One of the most notable expansion projects began in the 1950s under the reign of King Saud bin Abdulaziz. This project involved the construction of new prayer halls, the installation of modern lighting and sound systems, and the improvement of the mosque's overall facilities. King Saud's expansion set the stage for subsequent projects that would further transform the Grand Mosque. In the 1980s, King Fahd bin Abdulaziz initiated another major expansion project, which significantly increased the mosque's capacity. This project included the construction of the King Fahd Gate, the addition of new courtyards, and the installation of state-of-the-art air conditioning and cooling systems. King Fahd's expansion project also introduced modern crowd management technologies, ensuring the safety and efficiency of pilgrim movement within the mosque. The most recent and extensive expansion project was initiated by King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz in the early 21st century. This multi-billion-dollar project aimed to accommodate up to 2 million worshippers, making it the largest expansion in the history of the Grand Mosque. The project included the construction of new prayer halls, the expansion of existing structures, and the addition of new minarets and domes. Advanced technologies, such as automated crowd control systems and enhanced security measures, were also implemented to ensure the safety and comfort of pilgrims. King Abdullah's expansion project also focused on improving the accessibility of the mosque for people with disabilities. Ramps, elevators, and special pathways were installed to facilitate the movement of disabled worshippers, ensuring that the Grand Mosque is inclusive and accessible to all. These enhancements reflect the commitment to providing a welcoming and accommodating environment for every pilgrim. In addition to the physical expansion of the mosque, the Saudi government has invested in the development of surrounding infrastructure. This includes the construction of new hotels, transportation networks, and healthcare facilities to support the influx of pilgrims. The development of these amenities ensures that pilgrims have access to necessary services and can perform their religious duties with ease and comfort. The continuous expansion and modernization of the Grand Mosque highlight the enduring significance of the Kaaba and the commitment of the Muslim community to preserving and enhancing this sacred site. Each expansion project builds upon the legacy of previous efforts, ensuring that the mosque remains a focal point of Islamic worship and a symbol of faith and unity. 12. The global significance of the Kaaba. The Kaaba holds profound global significance for Muslims, serving as a symbol of unity, faith, and the universal principles of Islam. Its importance transcends geographic boundaries, cultural differences, and social distinctions, making it a focal point of devotion and reverence for over 1 billion Muslims worldwide. The Kaaba's global significance is reflected in its role as the Qibla, its central place in the Hajj pilgrimage, and its enduring impact on Islamic identity and community. At the heart of the Kaaba's global significance is its role as the Qibla, the direction that Muslims face during their daily prayers, Salah. This practice unifies Muslims in their worship, creating a sense of shared orientation and purpose. Regardless of where they are in the world, Muslims turn towards the Kaaba, symbolizing their collective submission to Allah and their connection to the global Ummah. The act of facing the Kaaba during prayer fosters a sense of unity and cohesion, reinforcing the bonds of faith that connect Muslims across diverse cultures and regions. The Hajj pilgrimage further underscores the Kaaba's global significance. Each year, millions of Muslims from all corners of the world gather in Mecca to perform Hajj, fulfilling one of the 5 pillars of Islam. This gathering is one of the largest annual religious events in the world, highlighting the diversity and unity of the Muslim Ummah. Pilgrims from different countries, speaking different languages and belonging to different cultural backgrounds, come together in a collective act of worship. The Kaaba serves as the central point of this pilgrimage, embodying the shared faith and devotion of the global Muslim community. The rituals of Hajj, centered around the Kaaba, emphasize the principles of equality, humility, and brotherhood. During the pilgrimage, social distinctions are set aside, and all pilgrims don simple white garments, ihram, symbolizing their equality before Allah. The Kaaba, as the focal point of these rituals, reinforces the idea that all Muslims are part of a single, unified community, bound by their faith and their commitment to the worship of one God. The Hajj experience, with the Kaaba at its center, fosters a profound sense of global Muslim identity and solidarity. The Kaaba's global significance is also reflected in its historical and spiritual legacy. It is believed to be the first house of worship established for humanity, built by the Prophet Ibrahim and his son Ismail as a testament to monotheism. This legacy connects Muslims to a long lineage of prophetic tradition, spanning from Ibrahim to the Prophet Muhammad. The Kaaba stands as a symbol of this unbroken chain of faith, reminding Muslims of their shared spiritual heritage and the timeless principles of Islam. Beyond its religious significance, the Kaaba has also influenced Islamic art, architecture, and culture. Its iconic cubic shape and the rituals associated with it have inspired countless works of art, literature, and poetry throughout Islamic history. The imagery of the Kaaba, often depicted in calligraphy, paintings, and textiles, serves as a powerful symbol of faith and devotion. The architectural design of mosques around the world often includes elements that reflect the reverence for the Kaaba, such as the mihrab, which indicates the direction of the Qibla. The Kaaba's influence extends to the broader cultural and social fabric of Muslim communities. It serves as a focal point for religious education, spiritual reflection, and communal gatherings. Events such as Eid al-Adha, which commemorates Ibrahim's willingness to sacrifice his son in obedience to Allah, are deeply connected to the Kaaba and the rituals of Hajj. These events foster a sense of community and reinforce the shared values and traditions that define Islamic culture. In contemporary times, the global significance of the Kaaba is amplified by the accessibility of information and communication technologies. Pilgrims can share their experiences through social media, photographs, and videos, allowing Muslims around the world to virtually participate in the rituals and ceremonies. Live broadcasts of Hajj and Umrah enable those who are unable to physically travel to Mecca to witness the sacred rites and feel connected to the global Ummah. This virtual participation enhances the sense of unity and solidarity among Muslims, bridging the gap between different regions and cultures. The Kaaba's global significance also extends to its role in promoting peace and understanding. As a symbol of unity and faith, the Kaaba encourages Muslims to embrace the principles of compassion, justice, and mutual respect. The shared experience of facing the Kaaba in prayer and performing the Hajj pilgrimage fosters a sense of global citizenship and responsibility. It reminds Muslims of their duty to contribute to the well-being of humanity and to uphold the values of peace and harmony in their interactions with others. In summary, the Kaaba's global significance is multifaceted, encompassing its role as the Qibla, its central place in the Hajj pilgrimage, and its enduring impact on Islamic identity and community. It serves as a unifying symbol of faith, devotion, and shared spiritual heritage for Muslims worldwide. The Kaaba's influence extends beyond religious practice, shaping Islamic art, culture, and values. Its role in promoting unity, peace, and understanding highlights its timeless importance in the lives of Muslims and its enduring legacy as a symbol of the universal principles of Islam.